Good morning. Today we're going to look at 5 Psalms, Numbers 13 through 17, combining yesterday and today's readings. And Psalm 13 starts out with, how long? First 4 verses. How long, O Lord, will you forget me? How long will you hide your face? How long must I bear pain in my soul? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? And, how long? I mean, where are you, God? Why aren't you listening? Why aren't you protecting me and helping me? And, why does it take so long? And, sometimes we feel that way too. I mean, we pray and we want things to happen and we wonder, well, are you listening, God? Are you hearing me? Do you care? I mean, those are some of the implications of these how long. And so here we see this, in King David, this psalmist, he's crying out to God, wondering, why does it take so long? How long, O Lord? And then it's consider and answer me, give light to my eyes. And then the faith in the last 2 verses. I trust in your steadfast love. My heart will rejoice. I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me. So I mean, we have that wondering, oftentimes we come to God in our prayers and it's, the questions, the requests, the wants, the needs, and we need to remember the thanksgiving and the praise and to realize the blessings we have. The other day, I saw a post of, I count my blessings that we have dirty dishes. It means we have food to eat. I count my blessings I have clothes to wash. It means I have to wash laundry because it means we have clean clothes to wear. The blessings of everyday life, the blessings of what we have that, just to remember that some of those blessings, sometimes they seem like drudgery, having to do dishes, having to do laundry, having to mow the lawn every other day, it almost seems like. But the blessings that those things come from, the abundance that is from there. Psalm 14, begins, fools say in their heart, there is no God. And fools, those who don't believe, those who are corrupt, those who are filled with wickedness, those who just can't wrap their heads around a supreme being who loves and cares for them. April Fool's Day is the day that we play tricks on each other, and it's to be called a fool isn't complimentary. We don't want that. But so fools say in their heart, there is no God. The Lord looks on them to see if the Lord looks on humankind, it says, to see if there are any wise among them, if there are any who seek after God. And so David is crying out here in a time of people, worshiping false gods, of people not worshiping God, of people forgetting that there's a God. He's crying out in a time of so many people who are unfaithful, so many people that have turned to false gods. So he said, God is looking to see if there are any faithful who will seek God. And, how many people today in today's world seek God out? And then he says, verse 3 of Psalm 14, they have all gone astray. They're all perverse. There is no one who does good. Not one. So David is just saying, you look at everybody, and everybody sins. Everybody falls short, and we know that. And it says, have they no knowledge of all these evildoers? Don't they call upon God? And then again, verse 7 is a hope for deliverance, a hope for the future. He says, oh, that deliverance would come from Zion. When the Lord restores the fortunes of the people, Jacob will rejoice, Israel will be glad. So there's hope for the future that David leaves in this psalm when he starts out, fools say there is no God. Are there none that are faithful? Are there none that seek God? And yet that faith in the end that God will restore, that Israel would be delivered. And for so many years. I mean, well, King David was king. He was king over Judah, then he was king over Judah and Israel. And then, Israel, the northern kingdom, fell away and was dispersed, and finally Judah too, they were unfaithful. But while David was king, there were still many faithful in the lands. Psalm 15 is a question of who is eligible maybe to come into the temple. O Lord, who may abide in your tent? Who can come to worship is kind of the question. Who may dwell on your holy hill? And then he gives the answer. Those who walk blamelessly do what's right. Those who speak the truth. Those who do not slander. They don't do evil. They don't take a reproach. Those who honor and fear the Lord. Those who stand by their oath. Those who do not lend money at interest. I mean, this was, it was okay to charge interest to a Gentile, but not to a fellow Jew. And so if you charged interest, you were going against what God would have. And so Psalm 15 is that question, who is acceptable to come to worship? And, and then all these things, and the reality is that none of us on our own would be acceptable. None of us on our own is blameless. We are only blameless because of Jesus Christ, but yet we are all welcome to come to worship because we need that love and grace and forgiveness from God. We need the encouragement that we get from a faithful, loving, and gracious God. Psalm 16 is, protect me, O God, for it is in you I take refuge. I say that you are my Lord. I have no God besides you. And so here again, it's, protect me, asking God for that protection, deliverance, guidance in life. David had a lot of enemies, even though he was the king. I mean, there were people that were contriving against him, just like the leaders in today's world. And I don't know if I should just say even all the leaders, but it seems that there are people against other people, no matter where we look. And so people need this protection. People need this deliverance. And I think of like Israel right now, and I think of still the Ukraine and places that there are wars going on, and places that Christians are persecuted and arrested, and places where they can't worship freely, places that women have no rights, places that discriminate. Blatant discrimination is still, in the world, and it's, these are the people that need protection. These are the people that we need to help and reach out to. He says, as for the holy ones, they're noble, in whom I delight, and the last verse of Psalm 16, rather, it's not chapter, it's a psalm. Each is an individual psalm. It is a thanks for guidance. You show me the path of light. In your presence there is fullness of joy. In your right hand are pleasures forevermore. So it's the thanksgiving for God's guidance, through all things. And quickly, verse 17, it's again a plea to the Lord. Hear a just cause, O Lord. This is my plea. This is my case that I present. Give ear to the prayer from the lips. From you let my vindication come. Let your eyes see the right. If you try my heart, you will visit me by night. If you test me, you will find no wickedness in me. So it's hear a just cause. And this could almost be written by Job. I mean, Job was righteous. He was faithful. And all of this calamity came upon him, not because of any evilness that he had done, but, he could plead, hear a just cause, Lord. And verse 8 I love, guard me as the apple of your eye. I mean, if you heard that expression, you're the apple of my eye, of course you have. Guard me as the apple of my eye. And then verse 12, they are like a lion eager to tear, like a young lion lurking in ambush. And I think it's Paul that writes that, Satan prowls around like a ravishing and roaring lion, seeking, to devour someone. And so we have that same symbolism here in the Psalms, and maybe that's what led that writing in all those years later. But again, we have, Psalms coming to God, asking for protection, for deliverance, asking for blessing, remembering signs of hope and promise.